Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to Gesa Stadium here in Pasco, Washington. This is the second semifinal at the 3A level for the baseball state tournament. Eastside Catholic and Kelso squaring off, and the winner will face the Kamiakin Braves, who had an extra inning 7-5 win over Blanchette in the first game here today. Jake Eastman and Chris King with you. Let's get right to the lineups. First, for the visiting Kelso Hilanders. For Kelso, Taylor Radcliffe will lead off. He is the shortstop. The second baseman, Cody Rogers, will hit second and play second. In center field and hitting third, it is Slate Miller. The cleanup man is the designated hitter, Nate Grumbois. Tyson Johnson in right field hitting fifth. The catcher hits sixth. That's Trevor Feeney. Corbin Sims is hitting seventh. He is at third base today. Quentin Hakkinen is at first base, and Cam Johnson will round out the lineup for the Kelso Hilanders. He will hit ninth and play left field. On the bump today for Kelso, it will be Kobe Johnson. Now we're going to take a look at the defensive starters for Eastside Catholic, as they are just moments away from taking the field. Looks like Kelso is going to take the field first. Instead, we had been told that the team on the top half of the bracket was going to be the away team. As Kelso is here, they are the third team down. Eastside Catholic is at the bottom, but it looks like they're going to go ahead and swap today. So we beg your pardon if we have the incorrect graphic up, but we have the lineup for Kelso all ready to go. Eastside Catholic will be the away team. Their lineup goes like this. Ty Murphy will lead off and play right field. Luke Shepard will play second base and hit second. Jeff Balling will play shortstop and hit third. The catcher hits cleanup. That's Braden Wolgamott. Hayden Meyer hits fifth and plays third base. The designated hitter is Jeff Keppel. In the 7-hole, the left fielder, Travis Olvestad. The first baseman hits eighth. That's Ryan Pollock. And in center field, it will be Addison Hull. The pitcher for Eastside Catholic today will be Alex Foley. Well, we are just moments away from action now, as out there taking his warm-up tosses is Kobe Johnson. Kobe Johnson, the starter for the Kelso Hilanders today. They will be in their blue uniforms with the yellow trim, white pants. Eastside Catholic, the away team, in their all-white home uniforms with the dark navy blue lettering and numbers. Crusaders in cursive across the chest and an orange trim. Ty Murphy is just minutes away from stepping up to the plate right here in the Tri-Cities, and stepping up to the microphone to call it for you is the voice of the Tri-City Dust Devils, Chris King.
Well, thank you very much. Game 2 here of our 4-game day here at Gesa Stadium here in Pasco. Thanks for joining us, as the winner of this game, either Eastside Catholic or Kelso, knows who they'll take on. And boy, was it in dramatic fashion in Game 1. Kamiakin beat Bishop Blanchette 7-5. Bishop Blanchette was ahead 5-1 going into the top of the 7th inning, but Kamiakin able to battle back in front of their home fans here at Gesa Stadium and come up with the victory. First batter up, TJ Murphy takes it in the dirt from Kobe Johnson for ball 1. Kobe Johnson has tossed 41 innings this year, a 7-1 record with a 3.14 ERA. The righty fires home. The pitch swung on and missed, and the count evens up at 1-1. So again, the 3A state championship will be tomorrow at 4 o'clock. The winner of this game taking on Kamiakin. The right fielder Murphy, the left-handed hitter, awaits the 1-1. Low and away for ball 2. The sun hiding behind the clouds a little bit. Sunnier for that first game. Sure, probably for only a moment. A little bit breezy here today as the 2-1 pitch. Just a bit up and away, and the count moves to 3-1, but a very comfortable day overall. Looking now, seen some fans even in t-shirts and shorts out here in the stadium. Here's a 3-1 pitch, a high fly ball popped up in a shallow left field. The shortstop Radcliffe goes back as he backpedals over to his right and makes the catch for out number 1. And Jake, something we saw in that first game is the wind being a bit of a factor and making it tricky not only for the infielders but even the outfielders as well to judge the fly balls.
Yeah, there was a play out in right field that the right fielder for Blanchette misjudged initially and was able to track it down, reaching back into his right late in the game. Also, an infield pop-up ended up hitting the ground right next next to the pitcher's mound. Kind of a combination with the wind and the sun. That was pretty bad in that game as well, but it looks like the sun won't be as much of a factor here in Game 2.
Here's the 1-0 pitch to Luke Shepard, a called for a strike on the outside corner. Count now 1-1. Thanks again for joining us here, the 3A state semifinal game. Kelso against Eastside Catholic. The Crusaders up at the plate. The 1-1 pitch, change up, and in for a called strike. No score, nobody aboard, 1 out. Johnson from the windup, kicks and deals home. The delivery low and away, and the count evens up at 2-2. The wind blowing from left to right field. Shepard, the second baseman for the Crusaders, hit .338 this year. Jones peers in with those high stirrup socks. The off-speed delivery swung on and missed. A big wave of the bat by Shepard's, and Johnson strikes him out for out number 2. He's refired the first 2 batters of the game. And Jeff Bowling steps up to the plate, the left-handed hitting shortstop. Boy, has he embodied clutch hitting so far in this postseason for Eastside Catholic in 2 straight games, the Metro League semifinals and also the Metro League finals against Bishop Blanchette. Not only had the walk-off hit, they were both walk-off home runs. First delivery to Bowling, misses in the dirt for ball 1. 2 outs, nobody aboard, top of the first inning. Johnson deals home the 1-0 pitch, up by the wrist to Bowling. Misses. Now 2-0 the count. Good crowd here for both teams. A little bit more of a drive for both the Kelso and Eastside Catholic fans in Kamiakin, as they had a great crowd here. So the delivery is fouled back into the net. Count moves to 2-1.
I think that drive time kind of has a way of evening out. When you play in the Big Nine, you make commutes that are from Walla Walla to Wenatchee sometimes, about 180 miles. On the contrary, Eastside Catholic drove about 20 miles to go play Blanchette this year. That's about as far as they went.
That's a very good point, as Johnson able to paint the outside corner with the fastball. Count moves to 2-2. 2 outs in the top of the first. It was even a half day for Kamiakin, so they had the place packed. The 2-2 pitch, poked foul down the third base line. Get to see that Kelso blue down the third base line. And the home dugout, Eastside Catholic, though in their white jerseys, see some orange there in the crowd for the Crusader fans here at Gesa Stadium. Johnson trying to go 1-2-3 in the first. Breaking ball just misses inside to the left-handed hitting Bowling. Johnson even had a little hop skip on his way off the mound, starting to make the saunter over to the dugout, but couldn't quite get the call. Here he is now with the full count. Time is called by Bowling, granted by the home plate umpire. Sun starting to peek out a little bit more than at first pitch. Here's the payoff delivery, swung on, a little blooper right to the shortstop. Radcliffe falls right into his glove, and that will do it for the top of the first inning. 1-2-3. Johnson and the Highlanders goes through Eastside Catholic as we go to the bottom of the first. No score between Kelso and Eastside Catholic. Moving to the bottom of the first inning, no score between Kelso and Eastside Catholic. Kelso will send up Taylor Radcliffe, Cody Rogers, and Slate Miller here in the bottom of the first. An easy top of the first for the Highlanders as Kobe Johnson went through the Crusaders 1-2-3. The southpaw, Alex Foley on the hill for Eastside Catholic, 5-1 on the year with the always nice sub-2 ERA, 1.98. The lefty from the windup comes home and misses outside on his first pitch to the shortstop Radcliffe. Foley was named the WIAA Male Student Athlete of the Week the first week of April. He's had an outstanding season. His 1-0 pitch this time misses inside, a little off the plate, and the count moves to 2-0. Eastside Catholic had to beat Mount Vernon in the first round and then the quarterfinals defeat Timberline to get to this point. Foley gets his first strike over on a fastball and the count moves to 2-1. Gotta love those stirrup socks for Kelso. Blue with the yellow and white stripes across them. Foley barely misses inside again and the count moves to 3-1. So in the first game of the 3A state semifinal between Kamiakin and Bishop Blanchette, we saw both starters not only go a full 7, they both went into the 9th inning as the delivery misses inside for ball 4, and Taylor Radcliffe earns a leadoff walk in the bottom of the first.
Yeah, Jesse Hauser throwing all 9 for Kamiakin in that first game. Peter Johnson fighting really hard as well. He threw 8 and a third, ended up taking the loss, but what a gutty performance by both pitchers in the opener today.
Cody Rogers steps up to the plate. Runner on at first, no score, bottom of the first inning. The second baseman takes the first pitch for his strike. Talking about Eastside Catholic having a little orange in their colors. Not everyone. The only man in the infield is the shortstop, Jeff Bowling, who doesn't have orange cleats on. Pickoff move over to first. No slide in. Radcliffe able to tiptoe his way back to the bag. Even the first baseman, Pollock, doesn't have his foot on the bag out in front. 0-1 the count. Foley from the stretch showing bunt and popping it back foul is Cody Rogers. So trying to catch the infield at Eastside Catholic by surprise, and Hayden Meyer over in the hot corner was waiting back right in line with the bag. So wasn't exactly expecting bunt at that point. So with the fouled off bunt, makes it 0-2. Radcliffe on it first for Kelso. Here's the 0-2 pitch, up by the letters for a ball. And the count moves to 1-2. A great day here at Gesa Stadium. 2 jam-packed days of great high school baseball action today and tomorrow. Pickoff move over to first, and a telegraphed one at that by Foley. Easily getting back in plenty of time is Taylor Radcliffe. No score, bottom of the first. Kelso getting a leadoff walk with Taylor Radcliffe, and a move over to first, and a good one at that, as Foley was trying to lull Radcliffe. And with that left-hander having a good move over to first, barely getting back in time, and under the tag was Radcliffe.
Nice job mixing it up right there by Foley. He showed the traditional start your motion and go to first move.
The runner takes off, swing and a miss, so striking out is Cody Rogers, but dropping the ball is Wolgamott, the catcher, and easily going down to second is Taylor Radcliffe. So Rogers strikes out on 3 pitches, but Radcliffe still able to go down in scoring position. So Kelso here in the bottom of the first, 1 out, no score, but a runner on at second base for the number 3 hitter, the center fielder, Slate Miller. Miller hitting .369 this year, the leading hitter for Kelso. Foley deals home, an off-speed pitch, falls in for strike 1. Miller taps the plate. The big burly right-hander awaits the pitch from Foley. The shortstop Bowling shadowing Radcliffe at second. The throw home misses up high. And the count 1-1. So no matter what so far, this inning for Foley won't be as easy as it was for Kobe Johnson, as Johnson went 1-2-3 in the top of the first. Radcliffe on at second. Here's the 1-1 pitch. Swung on a ground ball to the left side. The third baseman, Meyer, grabs it, tries to tag out Radcliffe, unable to tag him, throws across, and is able to retire Miller. So it was awfully close where the grounder came to Meyer at third base, with Radcliffe going from second to third. Couldn't apply the tag, though. So safe at third is Radcliffe. Miller thrown out for out number 2. And here in the bottom of the first inning, it'll be the cleanup hitter, the DH, Nate Grumboy, stepping up to the plate. The runner on at third, and seems to be some discussion out on the field, Jake.
Ryan Larson wants an explanation from the third base umpire, Jim Bailey. He thinks that Radcliffe was either tagged or had to go out of the baseline to avoid the tag. Tough for Carter to see all the way across the field, though, when it's really just a matter of inches as to whether or not he's in the base paths.
The best part of being in our position up here in the broadcast booth is to imagine what's going on in those conversations. As I will give both of them credit as being quite animated. A lot of hand gestures. Looked like there was some miming going on out there. And you could tell, like you pointed out, the exact argument that Kyle Larson was trying to make for Eastside Catholic. And certainly a valid argument to make, but not enough to make the call on it.
I'm sure Coach Larson was just telling him how good of a job he was doing.
Nate Grumboyce up at the plate with the runner on at third. Breaking ball taken for strike 1 on the inside corners. Grumboyce leaves no room between him and the plate. The tiptoes of his cleats are up on that chalk, right up there, hugging up against the dish. Here's the 0-1 pitch, swung on and miss. Another breaking ball, fooling Grumboyce, and the count now 0-2. Scoreless in the bottom of the first inning. Kelso with the chance here, 2 down. With the leadoff hitter, Taylor Radcliffe, on at third. The 0-2 pitch, a fastball up high for ball 1. Grumboyce did his best there to try to sell that one as he dipped away. So close to the plate, anything that's even over for a strike is probably a little close to him. The 1-2 pitch misses upstairs once more. And the count evens up at 2-2. As a great Vin Scully would say, deuces wild at this point. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs here in the bottom of the first.
No better name drop than that.
Here's the pitch home. Strike 3 call. The fastball right at the bottom of the zone. And Grumboyce strikes out looking for out number 3. So Kelso leaves a runner stranded on at third. As we're through 1 inning, we'll head to the top of the second. No score between Kelso and Eastside Catholic.
Hi, we're Chris
and Anna Groneveld, local dairy farmers from Monroe, Washington.
The Dairy Farmers of Washington, along with Les Schwab Tires, are proud co-title sponsors of the WIAA High School State Championships.
The Washington Interscholastic Activities Association supports high school programs and activities that keep our kids growing in mind and body.
Today's high school students will be some of tomorrow's community leaders, and we feel it is important to do our part in helping foster an appreciation of community, responsibility, teamwork, and sportsmanship in today's youth.
The WIAA helps provide those opportunities through athletic, artistic, and academic competition.
Please join the Dairy Farmers of Washington and Les Schwab Tires in supporting young people in your community by attending your local high school state championships.
For a complete list of events and activities in your area, visit WIAA.com.
At Les Schwab, along with great prices, our tires come with the kind of protection most other places just don't give you, which includes free flat repairs, equal value replacements, pre-trip safety checks, and more for the entire life of the tire. With the other guys, well, you just never know. So why is free protection on your tires good to have?
Lifetime protection. That's our best tire value promise. Les Schwab, doing the right thing since 1952.
Moving to the bottom of the first inning, no score between Kelso and Eastside Catholic. Here at Gesa Stadium in Pasco, it's Kobe Johnson for Kelso facing Braden Walgamot. First pitch misses away for ball 1. Walgamot, 20 RBIs this year, tied for the lead for the Crusaders. Catcher leading off the top of the second after Johnson was able to go through the Eastside Catholic lineup in order in the first. Next pitch misses away, but the home plate umpire puts up 1-1 on his fingers. Thought it was 2-0. Either way, the next pitch is a towering fly ball out to shallow left field. The shortstop Radcliffe is out there. Plenty of green grass around him. Calls for it and makes the catch for out number 1. Kobe Johnson did a heck of a job for the Highlanders in the first round of the state tournament. And the 3-0 victory over O'Day, always a perennial power in baseball. Really, probably any sport you could pick it, O'Day does quite well in. But he pitched a complete game 4-hitter. First pitch swung on and missed by Hayden Meyer. High heat, and Meyer couldn't catch up with it. No score here in the top of the second. One out, nobody aboard. Johnson's 0-1 pitch misses away for ball one. 3A state semifinal. A date tomorrow at 4 o'clock with Kamiakin on the line. Off-speed delivery, catches the outside corner, and the count moves to 1-2. Johnson gets his sign. The 1-2 pitch, a popped up in foul territory. This one will head back to the seats, just barely over, right into the base of the second row of seats between the home plate and that first base dugout. A fewer fans than that first game, so they want the foul balls returned. I guess it'll be a little bit easier for this game. Johnson looking in. One strikeout already. Here's the 1-2 pitch in the dirt. Good block by Feeney, his catcher. And the count evens up at 2-2. Meyer, the third baseman for Eastside Catholic, awaits the delivery. Here it comes, fouled back into the net. So either way, this state tournament this year being held here at Gesa Stadium in Pasco, there'll at least be one Tri-Cities team in the state championship, possibly two if Richland can make it to the 4A championship. The next delivery right between the legs of Feeney. And it goes back to the backstop, count now full. One out, nobody aboard. Top of the second inning, no score. Johnson fires home the payoff pitch, swung on and missed. Strikeout number 2 for Kobe Johnson, and he's retired the first 5 batters of the game.
Number 14, Jeff Keppel, the designated hitter. Keppel.
I'll bring up the DH, Jeff Keppel. So the state championship past couple years has been bounced around, but fortunately, some great locations it's been bounced around too. It's the first delivery in for a strike. So if you're one of these perennial powers, so Richland, for example, who always seems to find their way to the Final Four, you've got to see some great stadiums and play at some great spots. Next pitch is swung on, taken the other way, but foul down the first baseline.
Of course, Chris, we've got Gesa Stadium this year here in the
Exactly.
Tri-Cities, home of a minor league affiliate of the Colorado Rockies. Last year we were at Cheney Stadium in Tacoma, where the Rainiers play out of the Pacific Coast League, AAA affiliate of the Mariners, and then you go back one more year and you get the stadium of the Mariners, Safeco Field, and it was there for a few years before moving to Cheney last season.
The 0-2 misses upstairs. So you get to see some of the best stadiums, if not the best stadiums in all the state, if not the Northwest. So it's worked out pretty well. Here's the 1-2 delivery from Johnson. Breaking ball bends away, and the count now 2-2. Top of the second inning, Kelso and Eastside Catholic here in the 3A state semifinal. Nobody aboard for the Crusaders. The 2-2 pitch, swung on and missed. Strikeout number 3, and Kobe Johnson has retired the first 6 batters of the game. To the bottom of the second we go, no score between Kelso and Eastside Catholic.
Top of the second inning.
To the bottom of the second inning we go. No score between Kelso and Eastside Catholic. Along with Jake Eastman, I'm Chris King. Thanks for joining us now this afternoon as this day started this morning. A 10 o'clock start between Kamiakin and Bishop Blanchette. Kamiakin coming back and defeating Bishop Blanchette. So the winner of this game taking on the Braves in the state championship. Tyson Johnson, the first batter up here in the bottom of the second inning. Takes a ball in the first delivery from Alex Foley. Kelso had one runner aboard. The leadoff man, Taylor Radcliffe, walked in the bottom of the first as Johnson goes chasing after high heat, swings and misses. Radcliffe ended up being stranded on at third in the bottom of the first. Foley ready to go on the mound. The quick worker delivers home. The 1-1 in the dirt, low and in. Down by the ankles of Johnson, the right fielder for Kelso. We were talking about Kobe Johnson and how he threw a complete game shutout in the first round of the state tournament. Well, Alex Foley did the exact same thing for Eastside Catholic. Check swing. Johnson didn't go around the appeal down to first, and the umpires agreed that he didn't. Count 3-1. Foley had a complete game shutout against Mount Vernon, defeating the Bulldogs 1-0. The next delivery outside, and for the second straight inning, Alex Foley walks the leadoff batter. Kelso with a man on at first. No score as Trevor Feeney steps up to the plate. Maybe it's a classic catcher thing, or just if you're a big guy like Trevor Feeney, has the back tail of that jersey hanging out. And he's busy. He's doing work if that back tail can't be tucked in.
All those throws down to second base, they pull the uniform out of the pants.
That's exactly right. That's exactly right. First pitch misses inside. Feeney, a .319 hitter, awaits the 1-0. Again, misses off the plate towards the righty. The throw back from the catcher, Wolgamott, goes past Foley, and that will bring out a visit. Wolgamott as well, so we're getting a nice visit from the sun back as well, too, as it's shining down on Gesa Stadium here. Game 2 of 4 today. The next two, of course, in the afternoon from the 4A classification. Richland and Puyallup at 4 and Beamer and Kentwood at 7. Scoreless in the bottom of the second. Johnson on at first. The pitch is grounded foul down the third baseline. Ooh, awful close as that one rocketed down the chalk, but just barely foul.
It's really tough to tell from our angle up here, but no argument from the head coach of Kelso, Scott Meeker, right there in the third base box. Looks like the call was right on top of it, Mark Hollander.
So with the foul ball, the count moves to 2-1. A very modest lead over at first. Foley fires home from the stretch and puts it right down the middle for a called strike. 2-2 the count on the catcher Feeney, the number 6 hitter for Kelso. Nobody out in the bottom of the second. Tyson Johnson on at first base. Pollock holding him on, and that will induce a toss over to the bag from Foley. But again, not much of a lead for Johnson. Certainly they're thinking about him, but doesn't have a whole lot of room between him and the bag. 2-2 count. The delivery swung on. A weak ground ball to the right side. Foley picks it up. His only play is at first, and he'll throw out Trevor Feeney. So if that was hit much harder, it had the potential to be a double play just because it was so softly hit back to the pitcher and to his left as well. The only play for Foley was to go to the bag at first, allowing Johnson to move from first to second. So 1 out, and for the second straight inning, with 1 out, Kelso has a runner in scoring position on at second. Corbin Sims, the third baseman, will be the batter. Foley's delivery swung on and missed. Foul tipped actually back into the glove. Foley digs in to the far left rubber as he gets his sign from his catcher, Wolgamott. From the stretch, eyes back, Johnson at second. Here's the pitch home, swung on, that one's hit right into center field. That will fall in for a base hit. Johnson will be held up at third base. Holt comes in and fires it right to the cutoff man, so a good job by the center fielder Hull to be all over it. They hold up Johnson at third, and with one out in the bottom of the second inning and no score, Kelso threatening on Eastside Catholic. Runners on the corners as Quentin Hakkinen, the first baseman, steps up to the plate. And that right there, Jake, was the first base hit we've seen of the game, only the bottom of the second inning. But the third base runner for Kelso, the first two reached aboard as Foley has walked the leadoff man in both innings. Lefty on lefty here. Foley deals home. Fastball misses low. Throw down to second as the runner takes off. There's a pickle as Sims caught between first and second. The runner at third decides to take off home. He's caught in between as well. The first baseman Pollock goes over. Now we have a pickle between home and third. The two runners converging towards third base, sliding in safely. Back at third is Johnson, and out is Corbin Sims. So Sims went all the way from first to second, and him and Johnson were converging at third. Sims is tagged out, and Eastside Catholic able to sniff that play out, and credit to them showing good patience to get the out. And all that does for Kelso is erase the runner off at first. So did you keep track of that,
Sims,
Jake? Let's
yes,
see.
we do. Sims a stolen base. He gets second. And the putout goes 2-4-3-5-2. He might as well just write an essay about that play instead of trying to fit it into a box.
I'm impressed that you got that all as the delivery in for a strike. So now 2 outs as Sims is thrown out. Still on at third base is Tyson Johnson. 1-1 count. Bottom of the second, no score. The delivery low and away for ball 2. So not how Kelso wanted that play to go down. We saw a double steal successfully executed in the first game with Bishop Blanchette getting a run out of it. Not here in the second game. The 2-1, a bunt attempt, and that one is popped up, goes foul down the third baseline, and that was a defensive bunt if you've ever seen one. That was high and in on Hakkinen, and he brought that bat up more to protect his shoulders and his chest, it looked like.
It's an interesting call right there with 2 outs. 2-1 pitch. Got a good hitter's pitch there, and you not really putting on a safety squeeze or anything, because if you get the out at first, the inning's over. So that'll be an interesting one to revisit after the game.
2-2 count, 2 outs. Runner on at third. Here's the pitch. Just misses away as the Eastside Catholic fans here kind of oohing and awing wanted that to be called a strike. And that was about as close as you can get to a fastball in the outside corner to not being called a strike. So now it'll be a full count. Lefty on lefty still. The pitch way outside. The ball gets away from the catcher, Walgamot. The throw home will be not in time. A head-first slide from Tyson Johnson. And heading down to first safely is Quentin Hakkinen, but more importantly, coming in to score is Tyson Johnson. And Kelso takes the first lead of the game. The Highlanders lead the Crusaders 1-0 in the bottom of the second inning. So neither pitcher, Kobe Johnson or Alex Foley, gave up a run in their last start. And Kelso able to crack the Crusaders first here in the bottom of the second. Cam Johnson, the 9-hitter, up at the plate. Takes the first pitch inside for a ball. And Walgamot, the catcher, will come out and chat with Alex Foley.
Yeah, Foley needs to settle down a little bit right here. He's been a little wild. He's walked the leadoff batter in each of the first 2 innings, and the wild pitch has the run come in and score off of that. So if he can get closer to the zone and settle down, that'd be ideal for the Crusaders.
The left fielder, Cam Johnson. Kelso turning their number 9 hitter here with the 1-0 pitch. Big swing and a miss. The runner takes off. The throw down to second will be not in time. Walgamot's throw came in on a hop. The shortstop Bowling did all he could to get that tag down. But the fact that it bounced in on the dirt beforehand gave just enough time for Hakkinen to slide in and beat out the throw.
Looks like Walgamot didn't quite get a good grip on that ball. It was a curveball that was breaking inside to the right-handed hitter. Didn't quite get the best grip on it, bounced it down to second base. He had a good four-seam grip. He might have been able to get the runner.
Strike called on the heater inside. 1-2 now the count to Johnson. 2 outs, bottom of the second. Kelso on a wild pitch, bringing home Tyson Johnson from third. And the Highlanders with a 1-0 lead on Eastside Catholic. The lefty delivers home. The pitch is a ground ball backhanded by the shortstop Bowling. Bobbles the ball, picks it back up, his throw to first won't be in time. The bowling, a tougher play there, had to backhand it, but the bobble on the backhand gave enough time for Johnson to beat out his throw. It will be ruled in air on the shortstop bowling. E6, and Kelso trying to do more damage here in the bottom of the second inning. 1 run already in. They have the 1-0 lead, and now back to the top of the order. Taylor Radcliffe, who walked in his first at-bat, up with runners on the corners and 2 outs. Here's Foley's first delivery inside by the waist to the shortstop for Kelso.
Foley's missing inside with a lot of those pitches to right-handed hitters. Looks like he might be trying a little too hard, overthrowing a bit. You see that when a lefty misses inside to a righty or up and away to a righty as well. They don't quite have their release point down. Foley's struggling with that early on.
The 1-0 is hit out of play, and the count moves to 1-1. Signs being given in the third base coaching box for Kelso by Scott Meeker. Close eye from Cam Johnson getting those signs as Foley looks over to first and throws over. We've seen the double steal attempted already here in the inning. Runners on first and third and 2 outs. We'll see what Kelso does, if anything, here. The 1-1 pitch is a ground ball to the second baseman. Shepard picks it up, throw to first on the bounce, and just in time. That came in on a hop and awfully close, but they throw out Radcliffe to end the inning in the Kelso threat. But not before the Highlanders bring in the first run of the game. As we move to the top of the third, our score, Kelso 1, Eastside Catholic 0.
At Les Schwab, along with great prices, our tires come with the kind of protection most other places just don't give you, which includes free flat repairs, equal value replacements, pre-trip safety checks, and more for the entire life of the tire. With the other guys, well, you just never know. So why is free protection on your tires good to have?
Lifetime protection. That's our best tire value promise. Les Schwab, doing the right thing since 1952.
Here's Jake Eastman.
Well, thank you very much, Chris. Olvestad batting from the left-hand side, a .203 batting average on the year, 1 homer, 9 runs batted in. He fouls the 1-0 back into the net, and the count is even at 1-1, 1-0. Kelso on top. For Kelso, 1 run, 1 hit, no errors. Eastside Catholic, 0-0, 1 error. Next pitch on the way from Kobe Johnson, the right-hander from the windup, misses outside, and it is 2-1. Olvestad playing left field today for Kyle Larson's Crusaders. Here's a swing and a miss behind an 83-mile-an-hour fastball that time was Olvestad. Kobe Johnson has that fastball in the low 80s, also features a curveball and a change. Next offering, here's a ground ball foul up the third base line. And given air to Kyle Larson, the head coach of the Crusaders, unable to come up with that one with the left hand.
He got his paw on it at least. He was able to slow it down.
I believe we call that a valiant effort, Chris. 2-2 the count now on Olvestad. Kobe Johnson peers in over the glove, nods yes, and comes to the plate. Off-speed pitch and a dandy. Way out in front of that one was Travis Olvestad. 3 consecutive strikeouts now for Kobe Johnson. He's in a groove. He is not allowed a base runner here in this game.
And just doing a great job of mixing in his off-speed pitches with his fastball. He's keeping the hitters off balance.
First offering on the way to Ryan Pollock, and that is over and good. 0-1 on Pollock. Pollock wearing number 21 for the Crusaders. He's hitting .300 this year. He has not homered, but he's driven in 11 runs. Next pitch misses. Count even at 1-1 on the Crusader first baseman. Johnson deals the next offering. A fastball misses away. Mark Collender not giving him the corner. And it is 2-1. Center fielder for Kelso, Slate Miller, shaded slightly toward right field as the next pitch is swung on and missed. A high fastball. Pollock can't quite catch up with it. In shallow and right is Tyson Johnson as the next pitch is swung on. Hit high in the air in foul territory, giving chase and running out of room is Quentin Hakkinen. Hakkinen, the first baseman, had that rail sneak up on him a little bit. Almost ran into it.
It's interesting looking down at the scorebook, Jake. Through 7 batters for Kobe Johnson, there's only been 2 results. 4 men have struck out, and 3 have popped up to the shortstop, Radcliffe.
No one has hit the ball out of the infield yet against Johnson. Here's the next offering. Lined foul out of play. Off into the cheap seats on the right field side. So the count holds at 2-2. And we'll have this offering one more time. Here it is. It is in the dirt. A curveball blocked by Trevor Feeney. Could have just tried to pick it out of the dirt with nobody on base, but he's getting prepared for when he does have those base runners. He'll come out and have a quick word with Kobe Johnson, see what the senior pitcher wants to do with this 3-2 pitch. Kobe Johnson, in addition to being a standout baseball player, academically polished as well. He is a 4.0 student at Kelso High School. The next offering lined into right center field. Giving chase is Slate Miller, and it's going to go over his head and take a hop off the Farmers Insurance sign. Coasting into second base with the first hit of the day for the Crusaders is Ryan Pollock, tying run in scoring position for EC. So finally someone hits the ball out of the infield and Pollock strokes it well. Chris King, perhaps you jinxed Mr. Johnson there.
Boy, that was just a well-hit ball, though. That was to, center field, shading a little bit to right, but carried over the head of the center fielder Miller. A hard-hit ball.
Slate Miller covers some good ground out there in center field, too. At first, when it came off the bat, I thought he might be able to track it down. One of the better center fielders defensively in the state of Washington. He'll be playing college ball next year at Saddleback College down in Mission Viejo, California. Next pitch on the way to Addison Hull, and the freshman grounds this one to the right side. This will move the runner over. Easy play for the second baseman, Cody Rogers. Moving from second to third is Ryan Pollock. 2 away and a runner 90 feet away from tying this game. So Ty Murphy the batter now. Murphy 0 for 1 as the lineup flips over. And it's the second time around now against Kobe Johnson. Here's a fly ball left field, moving to his left, and making the easy catch is Cam Johnson. The Crusaders get 1 hit, no runs, and they leave the runner out at third base. We've played 2.5 here at Gesa Stadium. It is Kelso 1 and Eastside Catholic 0.
Leading off for Kelso in the bottom of the third inning.
And to the bottom of the third we go now. Jake Eastman along with Chris King. 1-0 is the Kelso lead, and Kelso will send up 2, 3, and 4. Rogers, Miller, and Grumbois against Alex Foley. Foley, the southpaw, winds and delivers. First pitch fouled straight back. Rogers right on it, hitting it firmly back to the net. Rogers 0 for 1 on the day. He struck out swinging back in the first inning. Cody Rogers entering play today, hitting .256. As the next offering is skied foul. Out of play on the left field side, 0-2 on the Kelso second baseman.
Foul balls to the nearest dugout. Thank you.
Rogers 10 hits this year and 39 at bats. No home runs, 1 RBI. The 0-2 to him is fouled back over the press box here. So we'll do the 0-2 one more time. Alex Foley looking to settle down after allowing that run in the bottom of the second inning. Delivers the 0-2. That's upstairs. First ball of the inning thrown by Alex Foley. Foley allowed the 1 run in the second inning on a wild pitch, so an unearned run is all that's crossed the plate for either side. Scoring from third on that wild pitch was Tyson Johnson to give Kelso the 1-0 lead that still stands. The 2-2 from Foley, that is upstairs, and Foley, again, struggling with that release point a little bit, missing up and away, and he's one bad one away from walking the leadoff man in a third consecutive inning. Now the next offering, check swing. Did he go? Doesn't matter. Pitch is called a strike by Mark Collender, and Foley avoids a third consecutive leadoff walk with a backwards K. Second time Rogers has gone down on strikes. So here's Slate Miller. Miller bats from the right-hand side. He throws with the left hand, and he takes the first pitch down and in, a fastball. 1-0. Slate Miller, a multi-sport athlete at Kelso, also the starting tailback on the football team. He takes this one on the inner edge, and it's 1-1, and a little frustration there from Alex Foley as the throw from his catcher, Braden Walgamot, came in low. Almost hit him in the ankle.
It's the second time that's happened, too. That's one that's gotten away back to the pitcher.
Now the 1-1 curveball drops in over the outer half. Foley ahead of Miller. 1-2. Foley winds and deals. The next pitch is outside. 2 balls and 2 strikes. 1 out, nobody on. We're in the third. 1-0. Kelso on top. Winner gets Kamayakin tomorrow at 4 o'clock for all the marbles. Fastball misses just off the inner edge. Mark Collender not giving the corner to Alex Foley. Now the payoff. 3-2 on the way. That is way up high. And instead of a leadoff walk, it's a 1-out walk here in the third inning. Miller aboard, and he can run.
25, Nate Grumbois, the designated hitter, Grumbois.
Slate Miller steals bags with an 86% success rate. He's only been thrown out twice. 9 stolen bases on the year. 0-1 the count now on Nate Grumbois. As the Port Cider comes to the plate, this one is outside. 1-1. That one was way out over in the left-handed batter's box. Nowhere near the plate that time for Alex Foley. Outfield playing fairly deep here against Nate Grumbois. 400 feet to straightaway center field. Looks like Hull is standing about 375 feet away from home plate. Here's a tailor-made double play ball to second for 1. Relay by Bowling over to Pollock in time. 4, 6, 3, 2 for the price of 1. And that will end the bottom of the third inning. We've played 3 here in Pasco. 1-0 Kelso on top of Eastside Catholic.
Hi, we're Chris
and Anna Groneveld, local dairy farmers from Monroe, Washington.
The Dairy Farmers of Washington, along with Les Schwab Tires, are proud co-title sponsors of the WIAA High School State Championships.
The Washington Interscholastic Activities Association supports high school programs and activities that keep our kids growing in mind and body.
Today's high school students will be some of tomorrow's community leaders, and we feel it is important to do our part in helping foster an appreciation of community, responsibility, teamwork, and sportsmanship in today's youth.
The WIAA helps provide those opportunities through athletic, artistic, and academic competition.
Please join the Dairy Farmers of Washington and Les Schwab Tires in supporting young people in your community by attending your local high school state championships.
For a complete list of events and activities in your area, visit WIAA.com.
At Les Schwab, along with great prices, our tires come with the kind of protection most other places just don't give you, which includes free flat repairs, equal value replacements, pre-trip safety checks, and more for the entire life of the tire. With the other guys, well, you just never know. So why is free protection on your tires good to have?
Lifetime protection. That's our best tire value promise. Les Schwab, doing the right thing since 1952.
And welcome back to Gesa Stadium, everybody. 1-0 is our score. The home Kelso Hilanders leading the visiting Eastside Catholic Crusaders. Kobe Johnson set for his fourth inning of work. And a swing and a miss induced on the very first pitch to Luke Shepard. Shepard, the second baseman, 0 for 1 on the day, struck out swinging his first time up as the second batter of the game. Next pitch skips in the dirt. Count evens up at 1-1. Kobe Johnson has allowed only one hit. That was a one-out double in the third inning to Ryan Pollock. Pollock was stranded at third to end that frame. Here's a line drive foul down the right field line. Hard hit ball there by Luke Shepard. But the result of it is only a second strike. Now the 1-2 to Luke. Here's a swing and a foul. That'll pop back over the net and into the, about the 15th row of stands or so. Luke Shepard, a good job staying with that curveball that time to fight it off at the last second and stay alive. Now the next 1-2, again a foul straight back. This one into the net. As Shepard is fighting hard to stay alive here with 2 strikes. Johnson has the sign from Feeney, comes to the plate, and this one is fouled again. Starting to slightly straighten out. He went back into the net at the beginning, then hit it over closer toward the dugout. The next one a little further up the line. Let's see if he can catch some chalk this time. Here's a flare into right field, and this one is going to be just barely foul by about a yard down the line.
It's getting closer.
If this sequence progresses, he'll hit one into the right center field gap here. Great battling at bat here by Luke Shepard. Excellent job leading off the fourth inning against Kobe Johnson, who has been cruising thus far. The 1-2. That is down in the dirt. Good block by Feeney. And it is now 2-2. Next pitch on the way to Shepard, and Johnson finally retires him. A nice 69-mile-an-hour curveball. And he gets Luke Shepard swinging. A great at-bat there by Shepard, but nothing to show for it, as he is now struck out twice here in 4 innings. So that'll bring up Jeff Bowling. Bowling hit a soft line drive to the shortstop Taylor Radcliffe to end the first inning. He is 0 for 1. 1-0 the count on him. As the pitch is taken inside, Bowling hitting .347 on the year. He grounds the next offering to the right side. Easy play for Cody Rogers over to Hakkinen. And after the long at-bat by Shepard, a 2-pitch quick out of Jeff Bowling, 2 away.
It's interesting, Jake, seeing the Kamiakin coaches out there watching this. Probably besides winning the state championship, that might have to be the second best feeling you can have as a coach. The come-from-behind victory. You get to stamp your ticket to the state championship. You have the early game. Then you get to enjoy that feeling the rest of the day and get to watch who your potential opponent will be.
They are certainly enjoying this. As the first offering from Johnson to Braden Wolgamott misses with a curve. The 1-0 on the way. It is skied foul. That'll get over the net and out of play. And the count evens up at 1-1. Wolgamott 0 for 1 on the day. He popped up to the shortstop Radcliffe. His first time up. Next offering a curve, and Johnson kind of lost the grip, kind of came off the back of his hand that time, didn't snap it off, and it stayed way upstairs. Wolgamott didn't even think about swinging at that one. Now the 2-1. Hard hit ball right at the second baseman. Catching it on a line is Cody Rogers. The umpire indicated the out, but Rogers threw it to first just to make sure. We've played 3.5 here at Gesa Stadium. Kelso 1, Eastside Catholic 0. The lone man to score a run will lead off the bottom half of the fourth inning. That is Tyson Johnson, the right fielder, reached on a walk to lead off the second inning. Ended up scoring on the wild pitch by Alex Foley. Foley into the windup, delivers a curve, misses outside. 1-0. 5, 6, and 7 due up here in the fourth frame. Johnson, Feeney, and Corbin Sims, the third baseman. If anyone reaches, Quentin Hakkinen, the third base, make that the first baseman, excuse me, will bat. 1-1 the count on Johnson. Next offering from Foley, misses downstairs. 2 balls and 1 strike. Foley and Wolgamott might not be on the same page still. Wolgamott kind of snapped that ball back to Foley. A little more aggression than you're used to seeing between battery mates. Next pitch inside, a fastball. 3-1. Foley walked the leadoff man in the first and second inning and add the fourth inning to the list of innings that he has led off with a walk. So Johnson, who came around to score the first time he was walked, is on at first.
That's the 7th base runner of the game, Jake, but he's only given up 1 hit, 1 error, and then 5 walks. That is his 5th walk of the game, and here we are only in the bottom of the 4th.
Yeah, he just continues to struggle finding that release point. See if he can settle in here out of the stretch. The lefty delivers a swing and a foul tip off the gear of Braden Wolgamott. 0-1 the count. On Feeney. Feeney is 0 for 1 on the day. He tapped back to Foley his first time up. Effectively had a sacrifice bunt in that at bat. as Foley had to come off the mound to field it, had no shot at the lead runner Johnson. Next pitch misses off the inside corner, a fastball. Count is now 1-1 on Feeney. Feeney entering play today, hitting at a .319 mark. No homers, 10 RBIs, a swing and a miss at a fastball. As Foley snuck that one by him on the outer half. 1 ball, 2 strikes. 1-0 Kelso, nobody out here in the fourth. Only 1 hit for both teams in this game. Next pitch from Foley, strike 3 called on the inside corner. He froze Feeney with a fastball that time for the first out of the inning. So Feeney 0 for 2. That'll bring up Corbin Sims. Sims, the only Kelso Highlander to reach base using his bat. As you mentioned, all the walks, Chris, but Sims, the lone base hit, that was a single back in the second. Throw over, nothing doing. With Johnson at first, Foley's next offering, fouled straight back into the net, 0-1. Well, the sun is hiding behind the clouds, and the wind seems to have died down a little bit. Old Glory out there in left center field. A little bit more wave in it than it did in that first game. Here's the next offering, a swing and a miss. Sims waves at that one out in front of an off-speed pitch, 0-2. See if Scott Meeker wants to put the game in motion here with 2 strikes on his hitter. Next offering on the way, fastball that misses upstairs. Good thing Meeker did not have the steal on, because that would have been a very easy pitch for Wolgamott to handle and throw down to second base. There'll be a 1-2 now from Foley. Here it is, popped up. That'll get out of play. Foul back behind home plate. And we'll do the 1-2 one more time.
One of the great luxuries of playing at a stadium like this, or really any of the stadiums that have held the state championship recently, is you get the speed pitch. Out there in center field or left field where the scoreboard is, you get to see how fast these guys are pitching, which is a nice luxury. I can't think of any other time in high school baseball that you have that.
The 1-2 instead of throw over, and on top of that, these kids get right above that speed pitch that you said, Chris. They get their picture up on the Jumbotron. They got that last year at Cheney Stadium, and they get to see their picture profiled here with every at-bat. Here's a little looper, shallow right field, could get down, and it will, in front of Ty Murphy. Murphy up with the ball in right. He will throw it into second. Holding there is Tyson Johnson. Corbin Sims 2 for 2 with a couple of bloop singles.
Well, there's been 3 hits in this game. 1-0 Kelso leads in the bottom of the fourth, and 2 of them belong to Corbin Sims. And as you just said, neither of them were particularly overpowering swings or base hits, but just able to find a little real estate, and it works out.
Corbin Sims now with 20 singles here in the 2012 season. Here's a turn and a throw back towards second. Sliding in safely is Johnson. So Johnson on at second, Sims at first, Quentin Hakkinen, the first baseman, is the batter. Lefty-lefty matchup. Hakkinen walked in his only plate appearance. Next offering just misses the inner edge. 1-0 the count. 1 away. Foley looking for a ground ball here to get out of it with 1 pitch. The southpaw comes set at the belt. Looks back at second, now delivers home. A swing and a miss behind the fastball that time was Hakkinen. 1-1. As the sun starts to pour back over the infield, just barely peeking its head out from beyond the cloud. The outfield still in shade. Foley brings the 1-1. A bunt goes down the third baseline foul. Looked like a pitch out try that time. As coming out of the crouch was Braden Wolgamott, and making a defensive bunt that time was Hakkinen, rolling it foul along the third baseline, and now Hakkinen in the hole. 1-2.
Kelso seems to like to attempt the bunt with the element of surprise in play.
The 1-2 from Foley, and a pitch out, throw down to second base, sliding back safely is Tyson Johnson. He wasn't going anywhere. Scott Meeker using that element of surprise, like you mentioned, Chris. Meeker in his 11th year as the varsity head coach of the Kelso Hilanders. Now the 2-2, Hakkinen down, swinging. He fans, going after a fastball up and out of the zone. 2 away, second strikeout of the inning for Alex Foley. So now it all comes down to Cam Johnson. Johnson with 2 ducks on the pond, the 9-hitter. Comes to the plate with 2 away here in the bottom of the 4th inning. Johnson 0 for 1. He reached on an error. His only time up. Here's a pitch in the dirt. Going to get by the catcher, Wolgamott, and go all the way to the backstop. Now 2 runners in scoring position for the Highlanders. That'll be a wild pitch as Foley spiked that one in the dirt.
Second wild pitch of the game, and of course the first one awfully costly. It's the reason there's 1 run up on the scoreboard right now.
And if Cam Johnson's able to get a hit right here, you can say that he effectively gave up another run because there's a runner in scoring position due to the wild pitch. Foley's 1-0 on the way. That is over but low. Just below the knees, 2 balls, no strikes.
So going back to that, the official scorekeeper ruled it a pass ball instead of a wild pitch. So a close one there, but goes the way of the pass ball.
Tough call against Wolgamott. As the next pitch is skied into shallow center. In comes Addison Hall. He's under it, and he makes the catch for out number 3. The Highlanders threaten, but they come up with a 0 here in the 4th inning. We've played 4 at Gesa Stadium in Pasco. Kelso 1, Eastside Catholic 0. This is the WIAA Network.
Hi, we're Chris
And Anna Groneveld, local dairy farmers from Monroe, Washington.
The Dairy Farmers of Washington, along with Les Schwab Tires, are proud co-title sponsors of the WIAA High School State Championships.
The Washington Interscholastic Activities Association supports high school programs and activities that keep our kids growing in mind and body.
Today's high school students will be some of tomorrow's community leaders, and we feel it is important to do our part in helping foster an appreciation of community, responsibility, teamwork, and sportsmanship in today's youth.
The WIAA helps provide those opportunities through athletic, artistic, and academic competition.
Please join the Dairy Farmers of Washington and Les Schwab Tires in supporting young people in your community by attending your local high school state championships.
For a complete list of events and activities in your area, visit WIAA.com.
At Les Schwab, along with great prices, our tires come with the kind of protection most other places just don't give you, which includes free flat repairs, equal value replacements, pre-trip safety checks, and more for the entire life of the tire. With the other guys, well, you just never know. So why is free protection on your tires good to have?
Lifetime protection. That's our best tire value promise. Les Schwab, doing the right thing since 1952.
Top of the 5th inning now. Kelso on top of Eastside Catholic, 1-0. Kelso, 1 run, 2 hits, no errors. Eastside Catholic, no runs, 1 hit, 1 error. Johnson back out for a 5th inning of work. First pitch, over and good on the inside corner. Hayden Meyer sees the next offering from Johnson and hits a firm ground ball right to short. There's Radcliffe, toss across in plenty of time, 1 away.
So far, you couldn't ask for much more from Kobe Johnson if you're Kelso. He's only given up 1 hit, a hard hit double off the bat of Ryan Pollock, but only 2 balls have gotten out of the infield, including that double, and only 1 hit, and he hasn't given up any walks, and he hit batters. Only 1 man aboard here so far.
Jeff Keppel, the batter now. He's the designated hitter, hitting for the pitcher, Alex Foley. Keppel, first-team All-Metro League designated hitter, and he swings and misses at a 53-mile-an-hour. I think it's not too far out on the limb to say Johnson took something off that one. 0-1, the count on Keppel. The next offering, fastball misses off the outside corner. Looked like Feeney tried to frame it there. Mark Collender not biting, 1-1. Next pitch, that is a slow breaking ball that dives away. Well outside, backhanding it was Feeney. Keppel 0 for 1 on the day, struck out swinging to end the second inning. Here's a fly ball left field fairly deep, giving chase Cam Johnson, now settling under it. Taking a couple steps in at the end to make the catch quickly. 2 away here in the Crusader fifth.
Batting number 8, Travis Olvestad, left fielder. Olvestad.
So Olvestad will bat now. Olvestad also a strikeout victim in his only trip to the plate thus far. Struck out swinging to start the third inning. First pitch, and he falls behind as he fouls it straight back, 0-1. Olvestad hitting .203, entering play today. Wearing number 8 for the Crusaders. He takes a fastball up and away. 2 outs, nobody on. We're in the top of the fifth. Kobe Johnson twirling a gem here. He's only allowed 1 hit thus far. A foul straight back by Olvestad. The count runs to 1-2. Johnson 1 strike away from a quick and efficient 1-2-3 fifth inning. Here's the next offering. That's way outside. Olvestad leaves it alone. And again, deuces wild here. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. As Kelso hangs to a 1-0 lead. Here's a line drive. That's going to get down in right center field. Cutting it off in the gap is Tyson Johnson, and he will hold Olvestad to a single. So not so fast on the 1-2-3 fifth inning.
Number 21, Ryan Pollock.
So Pollock the batter now. And before that single there by Olvestad, Pollock was the only Crusader that had had a hit. And if he can duplicate that hit this time, which was a double into the right center field gap, he might tie the game with Olvestad at first. A curve over the outer edge. Johnson throws that one in at 65 miles an hour, and he's ahead of Pollock, 0-1. Pollock was stranded out at third base after that 1-out double in the third. Next pitch, again, something off speed. Johnson getting Pollock out in front of it, and it is 0-2. Kobe Johnson looks in, nods yes, comes set at the letters and delivers a high fastball, 82 miles an hour. It's about as hard as we've seen Johnson throw so far today. He misses the zone up high that time, 1-2. Here's a lazy throw over. Olvestad back easily. One and two to Ryan Pollock. Here's the next offering. And this one is going to get down in front of the left fielder. A flare off the end of the bat, trying to go first to third is Olvestad. There'll be a close play. Sliding in safely is Olvestad. Throw down to second now. And getting there just ahead of the tag is the batter, Ryan Pollock. Pollock with a single, and he takes second on the fielder's choice by left fielder Cam Johnson. And now a base hit can give the Crusaders the lead. Suddenly, 2 in scoring position for Eastside Catholic.
Well, this has been an excellent game so far. There's been such a slim margin for error for both pitchers. This is the first inning where we've really seen any flaw from Kobe Johnson, and has a chance to get out of it here.
And so now it's on the freshman, Addison Hull. Hull won the starting center field job in tryouts and practice before games started this year, and he's managed to hold on all year as a freshman at the varsity level, but now he's got a steep hill to climb up as he's behind Johnson, 0-2. Pollock is lead from second, Olvestad from third. The next offering way up high, a fastball. Addison Hull leaves it alone. Hull grounded out to second baseman Cody Rogers. His first time up. Now the 1-2 from Johnson. A swing and a fly ball left field. Going back on it now is Cam Johnson, and he's not going to be able to get to it. 2 runs are going to score. Olvestad is in. Pollock right behind him. A 2-run double for the freshman Addison Hull, and the Crusaders take the lead here in the 5th inning, 2-1.
That was one of those, Jake. We talked about it before, and I think that was, I wouldn't quite say a victim of the wind, but impacted by the wind. You looked at Johnson out in left field. It looked like it was a relatively standard fly ball, and then all of a sudden he jumped back on his horse and couldn't quite catch up with it.
Yeah, I don't know if it was the wind or the sun or something, but Cam Johnson really didn't seem to see that ball well right off the bat. By the time he was able to get it in his eyesight, he couldn't make enough of an adjustment to run it down. 0-1 the count now on Ty Murphy. Murphy is 0 for 2. Leadoff batter, third time around now against Johnson. Here's a spin throw to second base, and you can hear a lot of balk calls, a chorus of balk coming from our right on the Eastside Catholic side. And the umpires are going to get together for a conference on this. Hull thought he was going to the plate. Johnson spun and threw it to second base and actually hit the backside of Hull. Ball didn't scatter too far away, though, as the shortstop Radcliffe was able to run it down without Hull advancing. So it looks as though the umpires will retreat back to their respective spots, content with the no balk call. And we'll have an 0-1 pitch to Ty Murphy. Hull leads from second. Johnson delivers the next offering. Ground ball right to the second baseman. Bobbling it is Rogers. He's going to have to throw it to first quickly, and it's not in time. Beating the throw is Ty Murphy. Moving from second to third is Addison Hull. An error extends the inning here for the Crusaders. And they threaten to expand on this lead now, and calling time are the Kelso Hilanders. There'll be a trip to the mound. Scott Meeker is going to send his pitching coach out there. Well, Scott Meeker in his 11th year coaching the Kelso Hilanders. He grew up right by Kelso in nearby Longview, graduated from Mark Morris High School, and played some college baseball at Shasta College in Redding, California. After college, became an assistant coach at Mark Morris, and then moved on as an assistant here at Kelso, and eventually took the head coaching ranks in 2002. And in his tenure, Kelso teams have won 7 of 8 regional state playoff games that they've played in. Big at-bat right here for Luke Shepard and Kobe Johnson. Johnson looking to get out of this one with no more damage. 2-1, Eastside Catholic on top now. First pitch is a curveball, and it misses inside. Murphy on it first. He reached on the air. Addison Hull, the freshman, is on at third. He had a 2-run double just moments ago. Fake to third, look at first move. Nobody fooled. Johnson comes set again, the 1-0. A swing and a miss, a fastball. He snuck it by Shepard. And it's 1-1. Shepard looking to right the ship in the batter's box here today. He's yet to put the ball in play, 0 for 2. He's gone down swinging twice. Here's a foul straight back. And it's 1-2. Two outs, 2 on, 1 ball, 2 strikes. Kobe Johnson comes set, breaking early, and that should have been called a balk. That should have been called a balk. Moving his right foot first. There it is. Kobe Johnson moved his right foot first when he spun to look towards second base. You can't do that. And getting to second easily, he would have been awarded it anyway, is Ty Murphy. Now awarded home is Addison Hull on the balk. So Johnson looked to spin towards second. I said right foot initially. He actually moved his left foot first. The right foot is the one that you should move first to make a legal step off. If you move your left foot first, you have to come to the plate. Johnson did, flinched a little bit, and it nets a run.
It's amazing, Jake, how this inning has gone downhill for Kelso. Here in the top of the 5th, now 3-1 the score. Kobe Johnson able to get the first two batters out. Hayden Meyer, routine ground ball to the shortstop Radcliffe. Then Keppel flew out to left field. And from that point on, 3 straight base hits, then an error, factor in the balk, and now 3 runs for the Crusaders.
And they've got another one out there in scoring position for Luke Shepard. 1-2 the count. Johnson comes set. Murphy leads from second. Next pitch down low and outside. Ball 2. Three runs in here in the top of the 5th for Eastside Catholic. Johnson's next offering is a little chopper. Going to go off the glove of the first baseman Hakkinen and go into no man's land. Picking it up is Rogers. No play anywhere. Safe at first is Shepard, and moving to third is Murphy. That one had some cue ball action on it. Hakkinen was right in front of it, and then it bounced sideways to Hackinen's right. He had to kind of dive for it at the last second and just kind of pushed it off the tip of his glove toward Rogers at second base. Just an unfortunate way the ball bounces for Kelso. So 2 consecutive errors extend the inning. An unfortunate error there on Hakkinen. Runners at the corners now for Bowling. And the Eastside Catholic shortstop fouls this one straight back. 0-1. Jeff Bowling 0 for 2 today. A soft line out to short. And a ground out to second. Next offering on the way. Ground ball right side. Fielding it cleanly is the second baseman Rogers, and he throws on to Hakkinen for out number 3. That'll do it for the top of the 5th, but not before 3 runs cross home for Eastside Catholic. We head to the bottom of the 5th. Eastside Catholic 3 and Kelso 1. Bottom of the 5th, Taylor Radcliffe to lead it off. Radcliffe hitting .322 entering today's game. He is 0 for 1 today, reached on a walk and stole second in the first. Grounded out to second baseman Luke Shepard in the second. He leads off the 5th by fouling one. Off the right side, 0-1. Alex Foley back out on the mound for a 5th inning of work. Working with a lead for the first time. Here's an easy one-hopper right at the first baseman, Ryan Pollock. He will take it himself. And there is one away.
Cody Rogers, the second baseman, Rogers.
So that'll bring up Cody Rogers. Rogers 0 for 2 today. 2 strikeouts, 1 swinging, 1 looking. Went down swinging in the first and looking in the third. He bats with 1 out and nobody on, as his Highlanders trail 3-1 here in the bottom of the 5th. Next offering to Rogers is fouled straight back. Foley got that in on the hands. And the count evens up at 1-1. Radcliffe already retired. Rogers up. Slate Miller on deck. The 3 due up here in the 5th. If anybody reaches, Nate Grumbois, the designated hitter, would bat. Here's a big swing and a miss by Rogers. And he falls behind 1-2. Soft breeze picking up a little bit more from left to right across the field as the 1-2 pitch is fouled straight back. Kelso looking to right the ship after surrendering 3 runs in that top of the 5th inning. We're in the bottom half now. Next offering is skied high into foul territory. This should be playable, and it is for Ryan Pollock. Ryan Pollock has recorded both outs here in the bottom of the 5th, so quickly 2 away. But let's not get ahead of ourselves. There was quickly 2 away in the top half of this inning for Kobe Johnson and the Kelso Hilanders, but a 2-out rally getting 3 runs out of it were the Eastside Catholic Crusaders. Now Slate Miller takes a fastball outside. Slate 0 for 1 on the day. He grounded out to third back in the 1st inning. Also drew a 1-out walk in the 3rd inning. Next pitch misses outside. 2 balls, no strikes. Slate Miller heading to Saddleback College next year. Play baseball down in Mission Viejo for the 2012 Seaview League champion Saddleback College baseball team. 3-0 now on Miller, and he's taking all the way. That one catches the outer half, and the throw goes by Foley again. And you can tell, just with his body language, that he's really frustrated with the throws from Braden Wolgamott.
That's the 3rd one today between pitcher and catcher that's gone by Foley. That's more hits, or that's more than the hits that Kelso has. They only have 2.
The 3-1 misses outside, and it'll be a free pass for Miller. 2nd walk that he has drawn today. Grumbois the batter now. Grumbois struck out looking to end the 1st inning. And his 2nd at-bat, he also ended an inning. That was the 3rd on a tailor-made 4-6-3 double play. He waved at the first fastball, chased one that was a good 3-4 inches off the outside. And he's behind 0-1. Foley delivers the next offering. That is upstairs and outside. This time Grumbois left it alone. Grumbois hitting .238 entering today's game. No homers, 15 hits in 63 at-bats. Pitches outside, throw down to second base. Caught stealing is Slate Miller. Excellent put out right there. 2-6 if you're scoring at home. That'll do it for the Highlanders here in the bottom of the 5th inning. No runs, no hits, no errors, and nobody left on. We head to the 6th. 6th inning, it is Eastside Catholic 3 and Kelso 1.
Hi, we're Chris
And Anna Groneveld, local dairy farmers from Monroe, Washington.
The Dairy Farmers of Washington, along with Les Schwab Tires, are proud co-title sponsors of the WIAA High School State Championships.
The Washington Interscholastic Activities Association supports high school programs and activities that keep our kids growing in mind and body.
Today's high school students will be some of tomorrow's community leaders, and we feel it is important to do our part in helping foster an appreciation of community, responsibility, teamwork, and sportsmanship in today's youth.
The WIAA helps provide those opportunities through athletic, artistic, and academic competition.
Please join the Dairy Farmers of Washington and Les Schwab Tires in supporting young people in your community by attending your local high school state championships.
For a complete list of events and activities in your area, visit WIAA.com.
At Les Schwab, along with great prices, our tires come with the kind of protection most other places just don't give you, which includes free flat repairs, equal value replacements, pre-trip safety checks, and more for the entire life of the tire. With the other guys, well, you just never know. So why is free protection on your tires good to have?
Lifetime protection. That's our best tire value promise. Les Schwab, doing the right thing since 1952.
Back for the sixth inning of play now. 3-1 Eastside Catholic on top. Here to tell you all about it, Chris King.
The 1-1 pitch is up high to Braden Walgamot, the number 4 hitter, leading off the top of the sixth inning. Kobe Johnson in his sixth inning of work. Things were going great the first 4 innings. The 2-1 pitch is grounded foul down the third baseline. Kelso had that 1-0 lead, and he got the first 2 batters out in the top of the 5th inning. Before that, he had only allowed 1 base runner before, giving up a double to Ryan Pollock, but 3 straight base hits, 2 errors, and a balk, all adding together to get 3 runs for the Crusaders. Swing and a miss in the dirt. Vina will have to throw down to first, does it in plenty of time, and Walgamot down on strikes for out number 1 in the top of the 6th. Kelso able to get their one and only run of the game in the bottom of the 2nd inning. Tyson Johnson scoring on a wild pitch. And Kelso, especially in those early innings, had some opportunities on Alex Foley, especially in the 4th. Unable to capitalize on it, though. First pitch swung on and missed by Hayden Meyer. So Foley working with the lead. 3-1 in favor of Eastside Catholic, and Johnson now with the deficit. The 0-1, an off-speed delivery, called for a strike. Hayden Meyer excellent up at the plate in that quarterfinal victory for Eastside Catholic over Timberline. 3 for 3, drove in 2 runs. The next pitch on the 0-2 delivery is a throwaway pitch, high and away. Meyer didn't chase after it. Meyer struck out and also grounded out to Radcliffe at shortstop. Johnson's 1-2, a high fly ball into shallow left field. Charging in is Johnson. He has time, and he trots in and makes the catch for out number 2. Quickly 2 down here in the top of the 6th. Thanks for joining us. Along with Jake Eastman, I'm Chris King. The 3A state semifinal. The winner of this game will go on and face Kamiakin, who defeated Bishop Blanchette earlier today. Delivery fouled off by Jeff Keppel, the number 6 hitter, the DH, has struck out and also flown out to left field. And after that first game today, anything could happen in this game, and I wouldn't be surprised. The 0-1 is in the dirt. Bishop Blanchette was not only 1 out away, they were 1 strike away. There were 2 opportunities for Bishop Blanchette. One ended up being an error on the shortstop, and another, a pop-up in foul territory that the third baseman couldn't get to that would have finished the game. The 1-1 pitch, fouled back past the stands. But credit to Kamiakin, able to battle back, and Kamiakin down 5-1 going in the top of the 7th, forced extra innings, scored 2 runs in the 9th, and the Braves going on to the state championship. Golfing it out, Keppel hits it into foul territory, right to the first baseman Hakkinen, and a quick 1-2-3 inning for Kobe Johnson and the Kelso Hilanders. To the bottom of the 6th we go. Our score, Eastside Catholic 3, Kelso 1. Moving to the bottom of the 6th inning. Eastside Catholic on top, 3-1 on Kelso. The Highlanders sending up the 4, 5, 6 hitters. Nate Crumboyce, Tyson Johnson, and Trevor Feeney Due up for Kelso. Alex Foley, the starter, still on the hill. The southpaw rocks and fires home. Misses up and away. To the right-handed hitting Grum Boys, who has struck out, also hit into an inning-ending double play. The cleanup hitter watches the 1-0, missed down and away. That's something that Foley, the last inning wasn't an issue. Well, he's even had a walk there. He's had a walk in every single inning. So walks have been something that has hampered Foley, but hasn't hurt him too bad right now. As time is called, is what it looks like, as the shortstop Jeff Bowling comes jogging in to talk to Foley out on the hill. So a quick conference, and he heads back to the left side of the infield, and we're back ready to go. 2-0 the count. He fires and catches the outside corner for a called strike on a fastball. A 2-run game, Eastside Catholic with the lead on Kelso, scoring 3 runs in the 5th. The 2-1 up by the letters for ball 3. Kelso with those black tops, yellow letters, pinstripe pants. The next pitch is fouled out of play. That one clanked over to the 4th row of stands, just past the first base dugout. And those stirrup socks. Nothing against those Eastside Catholic uniforms. Sharp uniforms for Eastside Catholic, but you have me at the stirrup socks.
I think Chris and I both fell in love with them immediately as soon as we saw the Highlanders take the field.
Here's the payoff pitch, going after a high delivery, hit out to right field. Murphy going back, able to find it in the sky, and the right fielder makes the catch for out number 1 in the bottom of the 6th inning. So Kelso looking for a little offense. Only 2 hits in this game for Eastside Catholic. 3 runs off of 4 hits, helped out by 1 Kelso error. And for Kelso, 1 run off of 2 hits and 2 Crusader errors. But again, they've gotten their base runners aboard and their opportunities through the walks that Alex Foley has surrendered. Tyson Johnson has been walked both times he's been up. Johnson back up again. Watches ball 1 go by, low and inside. Johnson, the only Kelso Highlander to touch home plate in this game, scored on a wild pitch back in the bottom of the 2nd. Foley rocks and fires. And it crosses over for a called strike. Foley, a quick worker out there on the hill, wastes no time. Here's his next offering. Is fouled back, and that one, oof. Close one to joining us here in the press box. It would have been a couple windows over, but still waiting for that first foul ball to make it in here.
Don't worry, Chris, I know CPR.
A gorgeous day here in Pasco at Gesa Stadium. The 1-2 pitch, a breaking ball dips in the dirt, and the count evens up at 2-2. Tyson Johnson, the junior, good on the base pass. They can get him on there. The 2-2 is popped up. That one heads back as Walgamot throws off the face mask, but it will head back into the stands. See the Richland Bombers out there. Richland will be playing later tonight. One of the 2 local teams here, along with Kamiakin. Richland is our next game up. Richland against Puyallup in the 4A semifinal. Thanks again for joining us this afternoon on the WIAA network, wherever you may be watching or listening. The next pitch is swatted out into center field and shallow. Charging in the center fielder, slides, and Addison Hull makes the catch. Hull has been clutch today for Eastside Catholic, driving home the first 2 runs of the game for the Crusaders and making a nifty slide and catch right there for out number 2 here in the bottom of the 6th.
Had a chance to talk with Kyle Larson, the head coach of the Eastside Catholic Crusaders, before the game. He was talking about his freshman center fielder, Addison Hull, and really complimented him for the great routes that he takes to baseballs. And he just proved himself right in that instance. Great route to the ball by Addison Hull, coming straight in and making a sliding catch.
A prime example there. Strike 1 to Trevor Feeney. The catcher, 0 for 2. As the count now evens up at 1-1 as Foley misses. Bottom of the 6th, Kelso and Eastside Catholic here in the state semifinal. The Crusaders with a 3-1 lead on the Highlanders. The 1-1 offering up by the eyes of Feeney. And it now moves to 2-1. Kelso, the home team here. As the next pitch is fouled back to the net. So if they can't produce anything here in the bottom of the 6th, Now the bottom of the 7th to work with. No action in either bullpen is certainly how you would imagine it, and that's the way it's been. As the 2-2 pitch, defensive check swing, and it goes back to the backstop. Mentioned it at the top of this broadcast, but in the first game we saw both pitchers go into the 9th inning in that semifinal game against Bishop Blanchette and Kamiakin. The 2-2 offering fouled off again, and the count stays at 2-2. And I'm sure if you're both of these teams, Eastside Catholic and Kelso, you're obviously worried about your game, but you don't mind seeing that first game go into extra innings, especially if you can get your opponent or potential opponent to have to dip into their pitching staff a little bit. The delivery just outside, and the count now full to Trevor Feeney. 2 down, nobody aboard, bottom of the 6th, 2-run lead for Eastside Catholic. Here's the payoff pitch from Feeney, breaking ball in the dirt. And now for the 6th straight inning, Foley has given up a walk. So every single inning, Foley has given a Kelso Highlander a free pass, and we'll have a courtesy runner here as the catcher Feeney comes out. And we'll take a look who's stepping into the game. Devin Sims, the junior for the Highlander, will step in and take over at first base for Feeney, as he'll strap the catcher's gear back on to be ready to go in the top of the 7th.
Courtesy runner number 17, Case Johansson. Courtesy runner 17. Batting number 11, Robin Sims. Third baseman Sims.
So that last free pass that was given up to Trevor Feeney, walk number 7 for Alex Foley. So he's been flirting with danger. He's been close to having that come back and bite him, and the one run that he has given up was caused by a walk. Tyson Johnson back in the 2nd, who then came around to score on a wild pitch. He's only given up that one run. The first pitch to Corbin Sims is taken for a strike. Sims, the number 7 hitter, responsible for both hits that Kelso has produced in this game. A 1 count. Foley from the stretch throws over to first to keep an eye on Sims. And he slides back in, dirties up that Kelso written across the chest on the blue jersey, but back in plenty of time to the bag. Foley delivers home. The pitch is popped up to the right side of the infield. Pollock, the first baseman, calls for it. He's there and makes the catch to end the inning. The Highlanders leave a runner stranded on at first. We're through 6 innings. Moving to the top of the 7th, our score, Eastside Catholic 3, Kelso 1.
Hi, we're Chris
and Anna Groneveld, local dairy farmers from Monroe, Washington.
The Dairy Farmers of Washington, along with Les Schwab Tires, are proud co-title sponsors of the WIAA High School State Championships.
The Washington Interscholastic Activities Association supports high school programs and activities that keep our kids growing in mind and body.
Today's high school students will be some of tomorrow's community leaders, and we feel it is important to do our part in helping foster an appreciation of community, responsibility, teamwork, and sportsmanship in today's youth.
The WIAA helps provide those opportunities through athletic, artistic, and academic competition.
Please join the Dairy Farmers of Washington and Les Schwab Tires in supporting young people in your community by attending your local high school state championships.
For a complete list of events and activities in your area, visit WIAA.com.
At Les Schwab, along with great prices, our tires come with the kind of protection most other places just don't give you, which includes free flat repairs, equal value replacements, pre-trip safety checks, and more for the entire life of the tire. With the other guys, well, you just never know. So why is free protection on your tires good to have?
Lifetime protection. That's our best tire value promise. Les Schwab, doing the right thing since 1952.
Eastside Catholic will look to add to their cause, and Kelso trying to keep it just a 2-run game as we go to the top of the 7th inning. Eastside Catholic on top of the Kelso Highlanders 3-1. Kobe Johnson out on the hill for Kelso for his 7th inning of work. The first pitch to Volstad is down in the dirt for ball 1. Johnson giving up 3 runs in the 5th. Besides that, he's been awfully good. Volstad all over it, but pulls it foul on the right field line. There's a parking lot there out past the right field wall, and there's at least one car out there that might have been in trouble with that foul ball, but I don't think it got hit. Johnson staring in at his catcher, back ready to go. The 0-1 pitch. A changeup pulled the string on it and falls in. Let's see the speed pitch. I'm curious on this one, and right now nothing is even registered. The last one was 67. I don't think that was 67. Maybe it was. The next pitch hits Volstad, and he heads on down to first base. So that's the first free pass of any sort that Johnson has given up in the game. So contrasting the two pitchers, Foley 7 walks and also a hit batter, and Johnson has now walked an Eastside Catholic hitter, but there hits his first one. Ryan Pollock the batter, 2 for 2 on the day, a double and a single. The pitch is taken out to right field, but Johnson in good position, he's there, and he makes the catch for out number 1. Go to Addison Hull, someone, Jake, that we've given a lot of credit to so far, deservedly so, with his 2 RBI double in the 5th inning to drive home the first 2 runs for Eastside Catholic, and also a very nice sliding catch he made out in center.
Yeah, he's accounted for every run that the Crusaders have scored. In addition to the 2 RBIs, came around and scored the 3rd run of that 5th inning.
A pitch in the dirt, and that will allow Volstad to head on down to second base. So tough to see. We'll wait for the official ruling whether it was a wild pitch or a pass ball in the dirt, but right at the catcher, Feeney, right in front of him. Either way, it goes back to the backstop, and the runner heads on down to second. So Addison Hull with 1 out as a runner in scoring position. Eastside Catholic trying to add on to their 2-run lead here in the top of the 7th on Kelso. The next delivery away. And the count moves to 2-0. Some action beginning in the Kelso bullpen. The next delivery barely misses the inside corner. And looking down for Kelso, it appears to be Joey Howard, the senior right-hander, getting loose. This one right down the pipe on the 3-0 delivery. And the count moves to 3-1 on the number 9 hitter, the freshman, Addison Hull. The next pitch is grounded foul down the third base line. Hull late on it. Nearly able to squeeze it right between the first baseman, Hakkinen, in the bag. After falling behind in the count, 3-0. Kobe Johnson able to get it to a full count here. The payoff pitch, strike 3 called on the inside corner. Wait a second. And it looked like they're going to say that the batter didn't get out of the way. It looked at first, strike 3 was getting called. Then it looked like they were going to award Addison Hull the bag. And right now we're going back to strike 3 is what the call looks like it will be. So
Mark Collender was yelling down at Kyle Larson in the third base box. He's saying that the pitch was over the plate for his strike and that Hull stuck his left elbow out and it nicked him. Tough call, to say the least, against Addison Hull right there.
So Kelso able to get the benefit of the doubt on that call. Now 2 outs, so the runner on at second. Back to the top of the order. TJ Murphy up at the plate. Watches the first pitch go high. Kelso in the bottom of the 7th will send up their 8, 9, and 1 hitters. Hakkinen, Johnson, and Radcliffe. Down 3-1 here in the top of the 7th. Crusaders trying to add on their 2-run advantage. The next delivery inside to the left-handed hitting right fielder. He's popped up twice, also reached on an air by the second baseman Rogers back in that costly 5th. This one a ground ball to the right side. Diving over to his right is Hakkinen. Throws over to the pitcher. Johnson can't get it. The ball's loose. Coming home to score is a Volstad, and the Crusaders add on another run. It's now 4-1. Good effort by Hakkinen at first base. His throw, tough to tell if it was a bad throw or if Johnson couldn't hold on to the ball, but it looked like they had the runner beat on at first base if they could have made that transition. But when the ball got dropped, rounding third and heading straight for home was a Volstad, and he was able to score. Now Luke Shepard up at the plate. Change up in for a strike as it will be ruled an error. That allows Murphy to get to first. Shepard has reached off an error and has struck out twice. 4-1 our score in the top of the 7th. The pitch fouled back into the net. And it's now 0-2 quickly on Shepard. 3 errors for Kelso. 2 in the 5th inning and 1 here in the 7th. Now the 0-2 pitch, fouled back into the net once more. Don't forget that we will have every single game, not only today, but tomorrow as well, on the WIAA network. 4 o'clock start for Richland and Puyallup. Hope you join us back as we'll sign off after this game is done. We'll recap the game for you and sign off until the start of that next game. 4 o'clock game and then the 7 o'clock game as well. We'll have all the action for you today and tomorrow. The 0-2 pitch, low and away. 1 ball and 2 strikes now on Shepard. As Kelso trying to end this top of the 7th, only allowing 1 run to Eastside Catholic. The offering from Johnson in the dirt. The runner takes off. The throw down to second will be not in time. A high throw from Feeney down to the bag at second, and Murphy just able to slide underneath the tag of the shortstop Radcliffe. Looked like, Jake, if that throw would have been a bit lower, he probably would have been gone out there at second.
I'd have to agree with that, Chris. It was bang, bang as it was, and the shortstop Radcliffe had to go really high to catch the ball and bring it down for a tag.
Shepard swats it out of play, a foul ball. Count 2-2 with 2 outs. Runner on at second now after the stolen base by Murphy. Johnson from the stretch, comes set. A gaze back at second, fires home. The pitch is popped up once more. And that heads back into the stands. We've seen some deep at-bats from the Eastside Catholic hitters in this inning. 1 run already in, now 4-1. Eastside Catholic ahead of Kelso. 3A state semifinal as Kobe Johnson wants to see the signs again. Now fires home, the 2-2 upstairs, and the count full. Get in a situation here where Johnson has to be fatigued a little bit. Deep here into the top of the 7th. The payoff pitch outside. And he walks Luke Shepard. So the first walk of the game for Kobe Johnson. And Shepard heads on down to first base, previously unoccupied. And we'll have a meeting out on the mound. Right-hander warming up for Kelso, and it looks like we'll have a change. Again, as we mentioned before, warming up was Joey Howard, as the entire infield out on the mound for Kelso. Top of the 7th, 2 outs. And the Highlanders trailing right now. Eastside Catholic already with 1 run in the inning. Runners on at first and second, and a 4-1 lead. So the left hand goes up, and the call to the bullpen is made. So with the pitching change, we will take a quick break. Here on the top of the 7th from Gesa Stadium, 4-1 our score. Eastside Catholic ahead of Kelso. 2 outs, runners on at first and second for the Crusaders. Joey Howard taking his warm-up tosses out on the hill for Kelso. Top of the 7th inning, a 4-1 lead for Eastside Catholic. Howard will inherit runners on at first and second, and the right-hander will face Jeff Bowling. No easy task. Bowling 0 for 3 on the day, but again, in the Metro League semifinals and finals, he hit walk-off home runs in both games. Howard has thrown 43 innings this year, a 3.05 ERA, and a 3-3 record.
Batting number 2, Jeff Bowling, the shortstop Bowling.
Bowling spits into his batting gloves as he rubs them in to his bat, the left-handed hitter, with an opportunity here to add on to that lead for his squad. The winner of this game taking on Kamiakin tomorrow in the 3A state championship. Howard's first pitch is low and in for ball 1. So Kobe Johnson, the book not officially closed on him, 6 2/3 innings, but still responsible for the 2 runners out on the bases. Here's the next pitch, high and away for ball 2. So Johnson started off the game like gangbusters. Only allowed 1 runner aboard through 4 2/3. And with 2 outs in the 5th, that's when Eastside Catholic went to work. The next pitch, a friendly call in the inside corner for a strike, and the count moves to 2-1. Runners taking their leads on a first and second. The next pitch is a fly ball to shallow left field. Johnson going back now, charging in. That will fall in. He'll barehand it. Rounding third and coming home is TJ Murphy, and he'll score. A bad read out in left field by Johnson as he took a step back and then had to charge in and couldn't catch up to it. TJ Murphy comes in and scores the second run of the inning. An RBI single for Jeff Bowling. And it's now 5-1. Eastside Catholic on top of Kelso.
Yeah, Johnson's had a really tough day defensively in left field, seeing the ball off the bat. That 2-run double back in the 5th inning off the bat of Addison Hull. Looked like he didn't get a very good read on it and almost came up with it. Had he seen it off the bat, he might have been able to glove it and prevent the 3 runs that eventually scored that inning.
Walgamot up at the plate. Runners on at first and second. The 1-0 delivery from Howard is a called strike just at the waist. Walgamot 0 for 3 on the day. Popped up to short, lined out to second, and is struck out as well. Howard a long look at second. Here's the 1-1 pitch. Breaking ball. Falls in for a strike, and Kelso trying to end this inning. 2 runs already in for Eastside Catholic. And Jake, I don't know if I should say this, but this is the exact same score as it was between Kamiakin and Bishop Blanchette.
That's dangerous talk, Chris.
To the bottom of the 7th inning.
Dangerous talk.
As the pitch is fouled out of play, and we all know what happened there. As Kamiakin was able to battle back, get 4 runs, take the game into extra innings, score 2 in the 9th, and pull out the victory over Bishop Blanchette. So there was a chance that we'd have 2 league rivals, Bishop Blanchette and Eastside Catholic here, face up in the championship, but with Blanchette eliminated, that won't be a possibility. The 1-2, tempted but not going at it, was Walgamot, misses away. Howard trying to end this laborious inning for the Highlanders. 5-1 the score, top of the 7th. Runners on at first and second. The 2-2 pitch, ground ball to the third baseman, dives over. Sims has it, throws across on a hop, and it goes out of the glove of Hakkinen. Safe at first is Walgamot. All the runners are safe, and the bases are now loaded. Hayden Meyer will step up to the plate with the bases loaded, and that will be ruled an error on the third baseman Sims. So a tough play for him to dive over to his left. Came in on a hop, and it looked like it would have been in time, but unable to grab a hold of it was Hakkinen.
Tough play, even tougher scoring decision to get an error charge to you on that when you make a diving stop and get it over to first in time, even though it was on a hop.
Courtesy runner over at first. A strike 1 is called on Meyer, so the catcher Walgamot will head out and strap on the gear. Now a 4-run lead for Eastside Catholic in the top of the 7th. Still the potential to do more damage. Bases loaded. The 0-1 pitch from Howard. Low and away for ball 1. Meyer with those orange batting gloves to go along with those orange cleats. Had an excellent Saturday last week. 2 hits against Mount Vernon in the first round, and in the quarterfinals was 3 for 3 with 2 RBIs. Time is called as Feeney heads out to the mound to talk with his pitcher Howard. Howard, the relief pitcher, coming in. Kobe Johnson getting the first 2 outs of this inning. Howard came in and has given up an RBI single, and also Algamont reaching on the last play on an error. On the far right edge of the rubber, the righty with shaggy hair deals home the 1-1 out of play. Fouled off. So, of course, not only tomorrow will be the state championship game for the 3A and 4A classifications, we'll also have the consolation games as well. So the teams that lose today will be action tomorrow to battle for 3rd and 4th place in state. Here's the 1-2 pitch from Howard, fouled back once more, and the count remains 1-2. Not a ton of hits in this game. 5 runs and the same amount of hits for Eastside Catholic. They're really being helped out by those 4 errors from Kelso. 1 run off of 2 hits for Kelso, only 1 Eastside Catholic error. Howard misses in the dirt. Now 2 balls and 2 strikes with 2 outs. So a long top of the 7th inning for Eastside Catholic. They don't care. They'll grind this out at as many insurance runs as possible. Here's the 2-2 pitch home, swung on, and that will eke through the right side of the infield. Coming in to score is Luke Shepard, followed by Jeff Bowling as well. They both score a 2 RBI single, and Eastside Catholic now with 4 runs here in the top of the 7th. The Crusaders on top of the Highlanders 7-1.
Well, there's those insurance runs you were talking about, Chris. Eastside Catholic not wanting to let up. They had a front row seat to that comeback earlier by Kamaik, and they were waiting to play their game, waiting quite urgently right behind the gates here to get out onto the field. So they saw what happened earlier, and they're tacking on to make sure that it's going to have to be a number higher than 4 that's scored in the 7th inning to tie this game.
The catcher, Trevor Feeney, going out to the mound and calls in the entire infield for Kelso. Try to pump up the team and try to put an end to this top of the 7th inning. 7-1 the score. Eastside Catholic with the lead on Kelso. Joey Howard, the relief pitcher, out on the hills, giving up 2 singles and also had a runner reach on an error since coming in. The pitch is a fly ball to right field. Backpedaling is Johnson, and that will go past him. Unable to make the catch. Coming in and scoring is Walgamot. Meyer coming around to score as well, and a stand-up triple for Jeff Keppel. So when it rains, it pours, and it's raining in the good way for Eastside Catholic and the not-so-good way for Kelso here in the top of the 7th. It's now 9-1 after the 2 RBI triple. And this game, Jake, would be a lot different if a few fly balls between left and right field that were not impossible to catch would have been taken care of for Kelso. The next pitch is swung on and poked the other way by a Volstad. That will fall in fair. Another run comes in to score as a Volstad rounding first, heading to second, and he's in with the stand-up double. Now 10-1 our score. 7 runs here in the top of the 7th. I didn't have a chance to say it beforehand, but a Volstad was the 10th man up in this inning, and Polak will be the 11th man up right here. Pollock 2 for 3 on the day. Howard's first pitch is in for a called strike. had the first hit of the game. He had the first hit of the first 4 innings, the one and only hit at the beginning of this game, a hard double out to center field. The 0-1 is a strike called at the very bottom of the strike zone. Saw earlier after Pollock had that first shot that Slayton Miller out in center field was playing very, very deep on him. This one taken the other way, in for a base hit out of the reach of the second baseman. Rogers trying to come home, and rounding third is a Volstad. He comes in and scores, and that is the 8th run of the inning. To say that Eastside Catholic has broken open here in the top of the 7th might be an understatement, as they now lead 11-1, a 10-run advantage for the Crusaders.
Yeah, it's really unfortunate for the Highlanders. The score 11-1 is really no way indicative of how well they played for 6 innings today. Kobe Johnson, their starter, battled really hard, but fortunately the wheels have come off here in the top half of the 7th.
Addison Holt takes a strike. Holt struck out in his first at-bat this inning. Again, this is the 12th batter up. They have hit around here in the top of the 7th. 11-1, Eastside Catholic leads Kelso. The 0-1 pitch swung on and missed. A loopy breaking ball. Not too often you see 3 more runs than hits, but that's the case here with Eastside Catholic. The scoreboard reads 11 runs, 8 hits, but helped out by 5 Kelso errors. The next pitch misses down and away. Still on at first base is Pollock, who's had a heck of a day up at the plate when you look at it. An RBI, a run scored, 2 singles, and a double. Howard peers over at him as the first baseman. Hakkinen holding him on over at first. The 1-2 is a hard hit ball into the 6th hole, and that's another base hit. And right now, Eastside Catholic's making it look like batting practice out there. That is the 5th straight hit for Eastside Catholic. 3 singles, a double, and a triple. Moving from first to second is Pollock. And now TJ Murphy will head up to the plate, and it looks like that might be it for Joey Howard. So Howard came in relief with 2 outs for Kobe Johnson and has given up 6 hits and 1 runner reached aboard off an error. So with the pitching change, we'll take a timeout ourselves. Top of the 7th inning, 11-1 the score, as Eastside Catholic has scored 8 runs here in the top of the 7th. Runners on at first and second for the Crusaders and 2 outs. We'll take a break and be back with more right after this.
Hi, we're Chris
And Anna Groneveld, local dairy farmers from Monroe, Washington.
The Dairy Farmers of Washington, along with Les Schwab Tires, are proud co-title sponsors of the WIAA High School State Championships.
The Washington Interscholastic Activities Association supports high school programs and activities that keep our kids growing in mind and body.
Today's high school students will be some of tomorrow's community leaders, and we feel it is important to do our part in helping foster an appreciation of community, responsibility, teamwork, and sportsmanship in today's youth.
The WIAA helps provide those opportunities through athletic, artistic, and academic competition.
Please join the Dairy Farmers of Washington and Les Schwab Tires in supporting young people in your community by attending your local high school state championships.
For a complete list of events and activities in your area, visit WIAA.com.
At Les Schwab, along with great prices, our tires come with the kind of protection most other places just don't give you, which includes free flat repairs, equal value replacements, pre-trip safety checks, and more for the entire life of the tire. With the other guys, well, you just never know. So why is free protection on your tires good to have?
Lifetime protection. That's our best tire value promise. Les Schwab, doing the right thing since 1952.
Back at Gesa Stadium, top of the 7th inning, the new pitcher Corbin Sims moving from third base and taking over on the mound for Joey Howard. A big top of the 7th for the Eastside Catholic Crusaders, and that again is more than likely an understatement. 8 runs in for Eastside Catholic, 11-1 the score here in the 3A state semifinal. TJ Murphy up at the plate. Seth Gillihan taking over for Sims at third. The first pitch, ground ball over to the right side. Rogers goes over, retreating back to first is Hakkinen, and unable to get back to the bag in time, and safe is TJ Murphy. Tough play. There's You saw at first Hakkinen went over to his right after that ground ball, but it seemed like that was pretty clearly in Rogers' range and had to retreat back to the bag and couldn't make it back there in time. So that will go down as a base hit, and the bases are loaded. Luke Shepard, the batter, as the pitch just barely misses away for ball one. 6 straight base hits for Eastside Catholic here in the top of the 7th. The 1-0 is line. That's another base hit out of the reach of the shortstop, Radcliffe. Coming in and scoring is Pollock. Behind him is Addison Hull. Holding up at second base is TJ Murphy. And they have now hit double digits here in the top of the 7th inning. And when I said earlier when it rains, it pours, this is even, when you thought it couldn't pour anymore, it's gone to hail, it's gone to a whole nother type of rain.
We're entering monsoon territory.
I think that is accurate, so good for Eastside Catholic and pretty tough here for Kelso. 10 runs in the top of the 7th inning. Jeff Bowling up to bat once more, had an RBI single in his first at-bat in the inning. First pitch in the dirt. So runners on at first and second. As Travis of Volstad has scored twice in this inning, 3 times in this game after coming back and scoring on that 2 RBI Luke Shepard single. Bowling 1 for 4 on the afternoon. Left-handed hitting shortstop. Waiting for the pitch from Sims, down and away for ball 2. Corbin Sims this year has only pitched 6 1/3 innings, 4.42 ERA with a 2-0 record and 1 save. The righty deals home. The delivery barely nicks the outside corner for a called strike.
Chris, this is the 15th batter of this inning, and just to put that into perspective, in the first 4 innings of this game, Kobe Johnson, the starter for Kelso, faced 12 batters.
Wow. Pitch fouled off on the count now 2-2. Things were going so well for Kobe Johnson and the Highlanders early on, as Johnson was dialed in. You go back, he had 2 outs and nobody aboard in that top of the 5th inning. Then they were able to get 3 runs, and here breaking it wide open with 10 in the 7th. Swing and a miss by Bowling, and that will end the top of the 7th. But 10 runs and 15 batters step up to the plate as we move to the bottom of the 7th. Eastside Catholic looks to stamp their ticket to the state finals. They have the 13-1 lead. Back at Gesa Stadium for the bottom of the 7th inning. Eastside Catholic trying to close it out here. 10 runs for the Crusaders in the top of the 7th inning. And Alex Foley back out looking for the complete game. And to say that his offense gave him some cushion would be an understatement, to say the least, as he now has a 12-run lead to work with.
Yeah, Foley was actually able to walk back to the hotel during the top half of the 7th inning, grab a cushion, and bring it back.
Ethan Mackey, the pinch hitter for Kelso, pinch hitting for Quentin Hakkinen. So Mackey up at the plate, first pitch of ball. Foley comes back, the 1-0 delivery, a bit high for ball 2. So Mackey coming in the game for Hakkinen. The junior catcher getting his first half out of the game. The next pitch up high for ball 3. So the winner of this taking on Kamiakin, barring a miracle Kelso comeback. The 3-0 pitch is right down the middle for a strike. Eastside Catholic Kamiakin appears to be the matchup that we will have tomorrow at 4 o'clock for the 3A state championship. The 3-1 pitch, swing and a miss. And the count now full. So credit to Foley, had some control issues throughout the game. There hasn't been one inning in this game so far that he hasn't walked a batter, and he's only given up 1 run. Swing and a miss, and after falling behind in the count 3-0, throws 3 straight strikes and strikes out Mackey looking for out number 1. Cam Johnson will be the batter. First pitch to Johnson, up and away. Only 2 hits for Kelso. So the threats that they had throughout this game really aided and created by the walks that Foley surrendered. The 1-0 has popped up and out of play. Fans starting to fill in here. The next game, Richmond against Puyallup. And I'd make a bet with anyone that Richland will have more fans here at Gesa Stadium in Pasco than Puyallup. See a lot of the green and yellow. I'm assuming it's yellow for Richland. A lot of times they call it a Green Bay Gold, but we'll just call it yellow throughout Gesa Stadium.
Clearly be a home field advantage for the Richland Bombers coming up in the 4 o'clock game. Much like Kamiakin had in the 10 o'clock game today, there was a lot more red in the crowd for that morning contest.
Even count at 2-2 on Cam Johnson, who's reached off an air and flied out to center. The 2-2 pitch swung on and missed. Alex Foley doesn't appear to be fatigued at all. Certainly a 12-run lead gives you some confidence and a little leeway to work with. But striking out the first 2 batters here in the bottom of the 7th. And Foley and his Crusaders, as he takes a deep sigh behind the rubber, just 1 out away from earning a spot in the 3A state championship. Taylor Radcliffe, the leadoff hitter, up at the plate, smacks a fair ball down the third base line, spun around the third base umpire, and now be in for extra bases. Standing up into second base is Radcliffe. And I don't think I've ever seen an umpire have to do a move quite like that, a 360 before off balance being able to call it a fair ball.
It's an interesting Matrix-like move there by Jim Bailey down the third baseline, barely getting out of the way at the last second.
And Cody Rogers will be up at the plate. So looking ahead for Eastside Catholic, talking to Coach Kyle Larson before the game as the first pitch is swung on and popped up foul and out of play down the left field line. Blake Gillespie, as we said, will more than likely be the starter tomorrow in the state championship game. So the junior pitcher, unless something happens between now and then, we'll get the call. 2.53 ERA on the year and a 3-4 record. The runner takes off as the pitch misses low. The third baseman, Meyer, not even covering on the throw with the 12-run lead. Certainly have some breathing room not to worry about the runner out on the base. 13-1. Eastside Catholic leads. The delivery misses outside. Count now 2 balls and 1 strike to Cody Rogers. From the stretch, Foley comes set. The next pitch is a ground ball to the shortstop, Bowling. This should do it. Bowling picks it up, throws to first, and the Eastside Catholic Crusaders are off to the state championship game. It'll be Eastside Catholic and Kamiakin tomorrow at 4 o'clock as the Crusaders pick up the victory 13-1, 3 runs in the 5th, and then catapulted by a double-digit 10-run top of the 7th to the 13-1 win.
Yeah, just the night and day difference between the first 6 innings of this game and the final frame there. You said it, Chris, a 10-run inning. That's unheard of at almost any level of baseball, even in Little League. They cap it at 7 runs sometimes. But really just unfortunate for Kelso that they're going to have to look at a score that says 13-1. at the end of this one because they really played much better than that for 6 innings today. Just sometimes the ball doesn't bounce your way. We'll have more after this.
Hi, we're Chris
And Anna Groneveld, local dairy farmers from Monroe, Washington.
The Dairy Farmers of Washington, along with Les Schwab Tires, are proud co-title sponsors of the WIAA High School State Championships.
The Washington Interscholastic Activities Association supports high school programs and activities that keep our kids growing in mind and body.
Today's high school students will be some of tomorrow's community leaders, and we feel it is important to do our part in helping foster an appreciation of community, responsibility, teamwork, and sportsmanship in today's youth.
The WIAA helps provide those opportunities through athletic, artistic, and academic competition.
Please join the Dairy Farmers of Washington and Les Schwab Tires in supporting young people in your community by attending your local high school state championships.
For a complete list of events and activities in your area, visit WIAA.com.
At Les Schwab, along with great prices, our tires come with the kind of protection most other places just don't give you, which includes free flat repairs, equal value replacements, pre-trip safety checks, and more for the entire life of the tire. With the other guys, well, you just never know. So why is free protection on your tires good to have?
Lifetime protection. That's our best tire value promise. Les Schwab, doing the right thing since 1952.
13-1, the final score here at Gesa Stadium. Eastside Catholic with the victory over Kelso, the Crusaders, on to the state championship game against Kamiakin. And Kelso will now go to the consolation game as Kelso will take on Bishop Blanchette, and that will be the Egg McMuffin game tomorrow. It will be a 10 o'clock start right here at Gesa Stadium. Going back and looking at the game, it started out as an excellent pitcher's duel. Kelso was able to get 1 run off a wild pitch in the second inning. They had the 1-0 lead on Eastside Catholic, but it was the 5th inning when the Highlanders ran into trouble, and Eastside Catholic took advantage of that up at the plate. Starter Kobe Johnson got the first 2 batters out, but a string of 3 base hits and a 2 RBI double from Addison Holt brought in 2 runs, and a balk brought in the 3rd, 3 runs in the 5th, and things were cracked wide open in the top of the 7th. 15 batters came up to the plate for Eastside Catholic. 10 runs came in for the Crusaders as they were to add some padding on their victory, some insurance runs, and to cruise on to the 13-1 victory, a complete game win for the Crusaders starter Alex Foley. 7 innings pitched, giving up only 3 hits in the victory. And over for Kelso, Kobe Johnson ends up suffering a loss for this game. So Eastside Catholic onto the 3A state championship, and onto the consolation game tomorrow goes Kelso.
Well, that'll do it for us here at Gesa Stadium for game number 2. Again, as Chris said, tomorrow we'll have Eastside Catholic and Kamiakin for the 3A final championship game, and the consolation will be at 10 a.m. between Kelso and Blanchette. We will be back with the next game at 4 o'clock. That will be the 4A semifinal between the Richland Bombers and the Puyallup Vikings. For Chris King, I'm Jake Eastman, and for the rest of the crew, Jim Brown and Bill Rice, saying goodbye from Gesa Stadium. We'll see you at 4 o'clock for Puyallup and Richland.